A young black man faces unjust treatment at a fast food restaurant, culminating in a wrongful arrest due to racial profiling. Unknown to everyone involved, this man is the son of the police chief. When the truth is revealed, the shockwaves expose deep systemic flaws, underscoring the importance of fairness, justice, and responsibility. Before we dive into this compelling story, don't forget to share where you're watching from and subscribe for more inspiring and eye-opening stories. Let's begin. Marcus Green, a 22-year-old college graduate with a degree in marketing, had dreams of making it big in the corporate world. He was ambitious and driven, determined to carve out his own path without relying on the influence of his father, Chief Henry Green, the respected yet firm head of the Oakwood Police Department. To outsiders, Marcus' life seemed perfect, but his relationship with his father was fraught with tension. Henry had always envisioned his son following in his footsteps, but Marcus' aspirations lay elsewhere. That day, Marcus had attended a high-stakes interview at a prestigious firm. Though he felt confident about his performance, the stress and long hours had left him drained. On his way home, his rumbling stomach reminded him that he hadn't eaten all day. Spotting a busy McDonald's, he decided to grab a quick meal. Clad in a casual red hoodie and jeans, Marcus entered the bustling fast food joint. He placed his order for a quarter-pounder meal and iced tea, receiving his receipt from a young cashier, Logan Carter, whose indifferent attitude Marcus brushed off as a symptom of a busy shift. Moving to the side, Marcus waited patiently for his food. ####, the wait that sparked a storm. Time ticked by, and Marcus noticed that customers who had arrived after him were being served while his tray remained empty. Initially, he assumed the staff was overwhelmed and decided to wait a little longer. Lost in thoughts about his future and whether his father would approve of his chosen career path, Marcus tried to stay composed. After 15 minutes, his patience wore thin. Approaching the counter, he spoke calmly to Logan. "Excuse me, I've been waiting for a while. Could you check on my order?" Logan barely glanced at him before replying curtly, "It'll be ready soon." Feeling dismissed, Marcus stepped back to wait again. As the minutes dragged on, frustration bubbled within Marcus. It had now been nearly 25 minutes, and his order was still nowhere to be seen. Gathering his resolve, he returned to the counter, his tone firmer this time. "I've waited long enough. If my order isn't ready, I'd like a refund," he said. Logan smirked dismissively. "We don't do refunds once the food's being prepared," he said. Marcus tried to maintain his composure. "I haven't seen any preparation happening. Why is this taking so long?" Logan shrugged and muttered something under his breath before calling to the kitchen. No rush on his order. ####, a call for action. The escalating tension drew the attention of nearby customers. An older woman named Elaine Perkins, who had been observing the interaction, stepped forward. "This young man has been waiting patiently," she said firmly. "He deserves to be served or refunded." Logan waved her off dismissively. "Mind your own business, lady." Other customers began voicing their support for Marcus. Encouraged, Marcus said, "All I want is what I paid for. This doesn't have to escalate." Logan, however, seemed intent on escalating the situation. "If you don't leave, I'll call security," he said. Moments later, a weary-looking security guard arrived. Logan pointed at Marcus. "This guy's causing trouble. Get him out of here." Marcus tried to explain, but Logan had already dialed the police. "We have a disruptive customer refusing to leave." Logan exaggerated. ####, when the police arrive. Two officers arrived minutes later. Officer Angela Carter, a seasoned and assertive cop, led the way with Officer David Reyes following closely. Logan immediately painted Marcus as a disruptive troublemaker. Marcus tried to explain his side, urging them to check the security cameras, but Angela dismissed his pleas. "Leave now, or we'll arrest you for disturbing the peace," she said coldly. Marcus, maintaining his composure, repeated, "I haven't done anything wrong. Please check the cameras." Angela signaled David, who reluctantly handcuffed Marcus. "You're under arrest," he said, his tone apologetic but firm. ###, a shocking revelation. Back at the police station, Marcus sat handcuffed in a small room. Outside, Angela received alarming news from a fellow officer. "The person you arrested is Chief Green's son," they whispered. Angela's confidence crumbled. Moments later, Chief Henry Green stormed into the station, his presence commanding silence. "Where is he?" he demanded. When Henry saw Marcus, his stern demeanor softened. "Marcus, are you okay?" he asked. Marcus recounted the incident in detail. Henry listened intently before exiting, his anger directed at his subordinates. "Did you even bother to verify the claims?" he asked Angela. Justice prevails. Security footage was retrieved, clearly showing Marcus' calm demeanor and Logan's dismissive and provocative behavior. Henry addressed the station sternly. "This is not how we uphold justice. This is not who we are," he declared. Angela was suspended, pending an internal investigation. Logan's behavior at McDonald's sparked public outrage. Videos of the incident went viral, with hashtags like #JusticeForMarcus trending across social media. Protests erupted, demanding accountability from both the police and McDonald's. #A catalyst for change. Chief Green spearheaded sweeping reforms within the police department, including mandatory training on de-escalation and unconscious bias. McDonald's, under immense public pressure, implemented customer service reforms and issued a public apology to Marcus. #A new chapter. Marcus became a voice for justice, sharing his story to inspire systemic change. "Justice isn't a privilege, it's a right," he said during a televised interview. His father's reforms and his advocacy work became a powerful symbol of accountability and hope. Marcus and Henry walked together at a community event, united in their mission for fairness and justice. Their story reminded the world that change begins with the courage to confront wrongdoing and the determination to make things right. New section. The movement gains momentum. The story of Marcus Green didn't end with the reforms at the police department or the changes within McDonald's. It became the spark for a national movement. Across the country, communities began hosting town halls to discuss systemic injustices in everyday life. Marcus was often invited as a keynote speaker, his story resonating with people from all walks of life. In one such event in Chicago, Marcus addressed a crowd of over 5,000 people. "We've all experienced moments where we were made to feel small, powerless. But remember this, together, we are strong. Together, we can demand change," he said, his voice echoing through the packed auditorium. Activists and social organizations began using Marcus' case as a model for their campaigns. They pushed for new legislation to address implicit bias in law enforcement and customer service industries. The Marcus Green Fairness Act, proposed by a coalition of lawmakers, called for mandatory training in public-facing industries to prevent discrimination. A father-son legacy. Meanwhile, Henry Green's reforms within the Oakwood Police Department became a template for other cities. Departments across the country adopted similar measures. Recognizing the importance of transparency and accountability, Henry's dedication to justice and his willingness to confront systemic flaws earned him national recognition. But to him, the most significant impact was repairing his relationship with Marcus. During a televised interview, Henry reflected, "As a father, I failed to see the world through my son's eyes. This experience taught me that leadership isn't just about enforcing rules. It's about listening, understanding, and being willing to change." Marcus smiled at his father, their bond stronger than ever. "If we can do this, so can anyone," Marcus added. The road ahead. The movement sparked by Marcus' story showed no signs of slowing down. Universities invited him to speak to students about resilience and activism. Social media was flooded with stories of people standing up against injustices, inspired by Marcus' courage. The hashtag Justice for Marcus evolved into #Justice for All, symbolizing a broader fight for fairness in every aspect of life. A nonprofit organization, Stand for Justice, was founded by Marcus and his close supporters. The organization focused on educating youth about their rights and providing resources for those who face discrimination. Within a year, it had chapters in over 20 cities. At a gala celebrating the first anniversary of Stand for Justice, Marcus addressed the attendees. "This is just the beginning. Justice is not a destination. It's a journey. And every step we take together brings us closer to the world we deserve." As the room erupted in applause, Marcus felt a deep sense of purpose. His story, once a personal struggle, had become a beacon of hope for millions. The journey wasn't over, but he was ready for whatever lay ahead.